Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video, we're going to go through the Forex market outlook. We're going to highlight what happened to the currencies last week and if we can see that going into this week. And one thing that I really want to take notice of is the Australian dollar. Now, the week prior didn't really have much going on, wasn't really in a position to buy nor sell. It was just kind of looking at a bit of a mid ground. But now the market has made some significant moves, and the Australian dollar has actually lost quite some significant strength against multiple currencies, and it was the biggest loser of the week alongside the Canadian dollar. So what I've pointed out in this week's Forex market outlook is a couple of opportunities to potentially sell the Australian dollar, highlight a few levels of interest, and then we'll go from there. We're also going to highlight a couple of dollar pairs. Dollar continues to gain strength, and I think we can potentially look at a couple of opportunities. It absolutely rallied against the yen last week, so we could see a continuation of that going into this week, and I've had a look at another couple of positions as well that we could potentially look into. So first of all, let's start off with the Aussie US dollar. Let's start up on that weekly time frame, and we can see here that price is in a retracement phase. We know it's in a retracement phase because the market is forming these weekly bearish candlesticks, and typically that's what we get in these retracement moves on the markets when we're in a particular trend. And we can see obviously we are in an uptrend. The market is making clear higher highs and higher lows, but if we're expecting to be buyers, we want to be looking at key support points. Now 0.7630 is a really interesting level for the Australian US dollar because price actually found resistance and support in here back in 2018. So this is going to be a bit of a sticking point for the market. However, if we look at the strength and weakness chart, it said that the Aussie was the biggest loser. Dollar was still gaining strength, so we could anticipate a breakout of this level. And if we were to get a breakout of this level, where could we possibly see the market move to next? Well, 0.7490 is a decent area where the market again has found support recently, has also found resistance and support over here. So again, 0.7490 could be the level that Aussie trades back to if the retracement move is going to continue, because like I said before, in these retracement moves we see smaller time frame trends within these areas, whether it be a daily or a 4 hour. The market will tend to have some kind of trend on those lower time frames. If I was to go to the 4 hour at the moment, the market is starting, even though it's not a deep retracement, is technically making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, so we're at a sticking point. We're at 7630. Now, just because the strength and weakness chart last week showed some developments to the downside doesn't mean that it is going to break, okay? So what we have to be aware of is what's going on. And we have this low down here, around about 7590, which if price was to clear out, was to make the lower low pattern, that would then signify to me that I want to get short on this market at a decent level. And we can see the market found resistance, support in here. So if we were to get back to 7630 at that point, then I'd be very interested in a short position. If the market doesn't do that, okay, so let's say in theory it doesn't do that, for some whatever reason the Australian dollar finds a lot of strength this week, takes out this 4 hour high, then I think, we have to flip the opportunity and potentially look for longs at that point back into these recent highs at 7, 8, 10. However, do more favour the downside here, and the reason is as well, if I go over to another currency pair of interest, Euro Aussie, I think that we are going to get a pullback here on Euro Oz as well, and there's a few key areas here. And the reason I looked at Euro Oz in the first place is just checking out this RSI indicator, and we can see, typically when the market does go into these overbought and oversold opportunities, the market does sometimes pull back from these levels. Okay, so you get that sort of first bearish opportunity through there. Again, nice little bearish little pullback through here, and obviously we get the big move as well down through here, and now we're in an oversold condition. Are we going to start pulling back? I really like the RSI overbought, oversold conditions on higher time frames, especially the weekly. Shows you a really good opportunity for the market to find a bottom and start pushing back to either to the upside, or find a top in the market, start pushing to the downside. So really like that. Seeing that the market is, again, just kind of evaluating trend at this point. What is the overall trend? Well, the trend is technically to the downside. We have the market making lower lows and lower highs. So in the sense of trend, if I wanted to be a seller, where would I want to be a seller from? And obviously this structure area comes up here as a potential area where I would like to get short on Euro Oz. And if that's the case, then can we potentially long up into these areas? Now this all again depends on the trend on the lower time frame. So if I was to go down into the 4-hour time frame and just zoom out, we can see now price is starting to retrace. We're getting higher highs and higher lows out of the market, and in particular we have these previous structure lows and these previous structure highs to work with. So again, one or two situations for me. I think if Euro Oz can maybe retest these structure lows, find some support, there could be a long opportunity in there. Or if we break out of the highs, we can look to buy into resistance, becomes support at that point, and we'd look for 1.6144 to be targeted in line with those lows. So Euro Oz looking pretty good on a weekly retracement. Dollar yen, like I said, really like dollar yen. Couple of institutional levels that I quite like the look of on dollar yen. The first one is down at 103.90, and again I like to line these up with key areas of support and resistance. And 103.90 in here, really nice because it has support, breakthrough, resistance, a little bit of chop through here. So I would expect maybe a retest of these highs and around about 103.90 for a long opportunity. Next sort of level I really like is 105.44. Price has found support in here, resistance. So if we can get back into 103.90, I'd like to potentially look for long opportunities in and around this area up into 105.44s. So dollar yen also looking pretty good. And to finish, we've got dollar Swiss. Now dollar Swiss is interesting to me, not because of the strength and weakness chart, just because of the potential pattern that is forming here. Very common pattern in the markets. We have the inverse head and shoulders pattern. We have the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, the neckline area just through here. Okay, so if this is the neckline, can we see price potentially break to the upside, pull back, go long? Where we're going to go long to? Well, we have these really nice structure lows just through here. There's actually a very low volume area in and around this point as well. Now, low volume areas can be really good to target because you can see that sometimes they have really strong reactions. So what I'd be anticipating here is a push up into this 0.9 and either a continuation of the downtrend or a break and retest, because it will be such a strong level of support and resistance. So keep an eye on those 4 charts. For me, there's a couple of good opportunities, particularly like Euro Oz, particularly like dollar yen. Thanks for watching this week's Forex Market Outlook video. Is there any charts that you're watching this week? Have you made your watch list? If you have, drop a comment below. Let me know what charts you're watching, and I'll speak to you soon.